Ebusafo Ahaye GC News Mema Obibia Akwaba latest hot enkwa ena mede bro na answer simuni nyina beba no se wunya subscribe ya bomodi ase over subscribe na wa like video no give us a thumbs up na fi share na wo foforo so na wenye bi hwe na wo hu ensemwa ekoso ewo Ghana memo hanom afi tentemara yibura ye ensemwa abeto yepno so yikuti AS report AS ansem ya ba bodujai mama yedie
Kuboy, has Kennedy Agyapong's campaign going so far?
It's been good. It's been massive. And then if you look at what has really happened in Ashanti region,
he was in Ashanti. I thought he was in Accra.
We were in Accra, and then we left on Thursday. We started Ashanti region, and it's been massive. We know that it's going to actualize. This morning is going to be within the Asante Bediatuo block, and then Bosome Fenho, Asante Bediatuo Central, Asante Bediatuo North and South. He's going to be there today, this morning, and it's been good.
By you people, you bribe Adwoa Safo to subtly campaign for you. Because you see, if you watch Adwoa Safo and the things Adwoa Safo said on it, it was a subtle campaign for Kennedy Agyapong, but then disguised as a support for Bawumia. The things she said, any voter who wants to objectively look at the dynamics is minded to go for. In fact, she painted Kennedy Agyapong as a principled politician. How can you do that?
But he is.
How can you do that? It was a very mischievous campaign.
What she sought to do,
I think this is a classic case of a Trojan horse. And Ghanaian people ought to be very careful of Adwoa Safo. I mean, how do you say that? As for this man, you will not tolerate family and friends, you will not do this, you will not do this.
But he
Look at the things he said. Are you telling me that Kennedy Agyapong? Are you not Ken's friend? Are you not Ken's friend? And are you not campaigning for him?
I'm campaigning for him.
Exactly.
I'm really campaigning for him.
No. Really it was a diabolical campaign by Adwoa Safo for Kennedy Agyapong.
She had the intention of trying to tell the constituents that listen, don't vote for him because I am free with you. I've been one of you. I've worked my ass off for the constituency and for NPP. But then if you bring Kennedy Agyapong, me having children with him, because the man abhors nepotism and all that, he will not give me that slot to also become a minister.
It was a diabolical campaign, disguised.
Are you sure?
Please.
We can see this one. She came, the person we are talking about is always seen around Bawumia, campaigning for Bawumia and all that. So all that she sought to do was to tell the delegates that don't vote for him. And then God, who in his own wisdom or in his own...
You're calling God into this one.
Oh, I'm telling you. She meant for evil, but then God turned it for good for us.
No, because it was a very serious campaign for Ken.
That's the analysis you people are reducing from...
Yeah, because she ended up saying that this one is a principled man.
But he is.
I don't know about that.
All right, Dr. Tutukwani, your observation so far, the NPP primary.
So this one, yes. Good morning to once again to all of us on the table. Good morning to the production team, and good morning to our viewers. Wishing them, Merry Christmas in advance. Yes, I think that the NPP primaries, so far monitoring the campaign messages and all that, I have seen some level of a turnaround, from the previous, the initial, campaign messages, which more or less seems to be washing dirty linens before the public, and again accusing one another of the damages of 2024. I feel that now there has been some level of concentration on their visions and probably what they want to do to win the elections, and I've seen some level of intensity again from the camps, the various camps. That suggests to me that yes, whatever meetings that they had, with the leadership of the party and some prominent people, the 5 candidates have taken it in good faith and have shown some level of respect to these personalities. That is what Ghana demands, and that is what Ghana is calling for. Whether we like it or not, the NPP remains the second largest or the largest opposition party in the country. And for now, we don't want to see the collapse of the NPP. Else I think that the democratic strength of this
it's
country.
not good for Ghana's democracy for the NPP to collapse, so, even though they are doing everything to collapse.
So I think that
we have to rescue
they need to focus, on the things that they are doing and continue to do it better, and force internal party unity, just as the NDC did from 2017 upwards, and ensure that there's that kind of coherence, between them. And you see, in this world, nothing comes by mistake. Everything is for a purpose. So I don't want to believe that failure, is a valley that you cannot climb, or a mountain that you cannot climb. You've seen political parties go down, down, very down. I think in UK, the Labour Party went on opposition for so long.
14 years. Yes.
14 years. And then they came back. You understand? NDC lost by a margin of about 1 million votes, in 2016. Came back strongly and then appreciated a vote difference of 1.7 million, which is you created history going out, and we have created history coming in. All right. So failure just tells you that, look, there's something that we've not done well, and every Ghanaian will tell you that the last 4 years of the NPP, wasn't good, and it wasn't anything that any Ghanaian, could be proud of. And I believe that every member of the NPP now, every leader, know about this. And for me, I think that if that has caused, the failure of the NPP in 2024, it doesn't mean that they should probably deepen, the wounds that they have inflicted upon themselves. What it means is that this is a healing period, and then you heal and come up strongly, but not to deepen and probably even lose confidence, with your base and all that. I think that the campaign that the 5 candidates, are mounting, should be one that drives unity, one that brings the party together even after 31st January. I think I listened to Kwabena Agyapong when he said that, look, during the time of Kufuor, even though he didn't belong to the Kufuor camp, all right, but after his camp, the leader in that camp took all of them to Kufuor, and then, together they worked in unity. So that is what some of us we want to see. And
you say, Doc, you've done something this morning that I think we should put context to.
Yeah. What do you make of the messaging in itself?
No, that's the point I'm making. It's about framing. And you make it look like, okay, NDC lost by this in 2016, and so if NPP lost by this, there is hope. I think we need to put that defeat in context. What Bawumia suffered. Put it in context. First of all, it's important to make this point that there is no president or a presidential candidate who has lost an election but not winning even one constituency in 7 regions.
Oh no,
calm down.
I understand.
There is no such from 1992.
I do.
So the defeat that we saw in 2024 is unprecedented in several material respects. put that in context. Oti, Volta, North, Upper East, Upper West, Bono, Ahafo, 7 regions of this country, the presidential candidate they presented could not win even one constituency.
No,
that tells you that over the period, the NPP has lost its national appeal in a very significant manner. And so it shouldn't be a platform to preach hope, to make it look like there is, you know,
but you see, that's all what Kennedy Agyapong.
You see, what do you mean by preaching?
That's basically what Dr. to do today, in a very academic manner. But I thought that you should put context to the conversation.
The context is what you have added.
Yes.
And nobody, once the statistics is there, nobody can challenge that statistics, isn't it?
Are you on a path of revival? Is that the messaging?
No, what I'm saying is that even if you are reviving, and the approach is not good, even if you are reviving and you don't even have hope for yourself, that means that the revival will not work. All right. So the most important thing is that as a Ghanaian, I want to see the NPP on its toe. Okay. As a Ghanaian, I want to see the NPP putting up that kind of responsible opposition, you know, that kind of strong opposition. What I sought to address is that, look, it's a failure, it's a massive failure, unprecedented, as you said, all right? But then, again, history is meant to guide.
Very well.
So whatever contest, whatever failure, the key thing is that, look, CPP went down, CPP couldn't come up to now, all right? But we don't want to see that this time around. We want to see that even if you've gone down,
no, but
you know
if
the factors that
there's a UP.
Yes, UP
Yes.
is still warming itself into.
So they've warmed up. They are on the touch line.
They're on the touch line.
Yeah, they are ready for something.
But if you are on the touch line, please, you are warming up. You are warming up to get some kind of change.
For me.
So the thing is that I want to see that, look, failure is not the end of the world. Failure is a beginning of a good thing to come. So it is just an encouragement and motivation, you know, that the NPP should encourage and motivate themselves and then come up strongly in 2028.
All right. Adwoa, the LI that has been repealed, the now repealed LI's 2462. Why is its repeal very important in the fight against illegal mining? And how do we put that in context? Because despite its repeal, you'll find that civil society in some respects, as well as some critics of the government, still criticize government for its fight against illegal mining.
Okay. So once again, good morning. I think that before I even zoom on this, let me use this opportunity to say something. And I want to quote President John Dramani Mahama. And this is what he says, quote, "I have directed the finance minister, Dr. Ato Forson, to release 1 billion Ghana cedis to settle debts owed to contractors since 2017 before Christmas. All contractors will be paid. The families of deceased contractors should also come forward to receive their money." That is compassionate John Mahama for you. That from 2017, contractors who have had to struggle with non-payment of the IPCs and others, he had given a firm instruction to the finance minister to cause to be released 1 billion Ghana cedis to settle this debt, to bring the hardship, what they have endured over the period, down. I want to thank the president for this compassionate move to lessen the burden on most contractors. and the cascading effect on the other components of the economy, because these contractors will buy sand, they'll buy iron rod, they'll buy cement, even their bankers, they owe. So they'll pay their workers. So the impact for this Christmas is huge. Mr. President, thank you. That said, on the vast issue of the repeal of LI 2462, it's important that we appreciate what even brought that LI in the first place. One, there was no basis for the Environmental Protection Agency in 2022 to even present that LI in the first place.
There was no basis?
No basis. But the only reason why the president then caused that LI to be brought into Parliament was the president wanted bauxite mine in the Adwoa forest. That was the long and short of it. Civil society groups had resisted the attempt to mine in the Adwoa forest, particularly bauxite. And so President Akufo Addo got that LI to go through the 21 gestation period in Parliament. And guess what? Also asked that they should put a clause in the LI that empowers him as president to grant permits for mining in forest reserve. That was the beginning of the problem. It was not necessary because, you see, the Minerals and Mining Act and all the subsequent amendments vested the grant, among others, in the minister. As president, if you were minded to even cause mining to be done in any place, all you needed to do was to route it through your Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. You don't need to give yourself that power in order. But it was a specific purpose, Adwoa forest, bauxite in Adwoa forest, nothing more, nothing else. And that has become the problem that we've had to endure over the period. And that is why I have always maintained that any conversation on galamsey should be put in context. It's always important. What is the body language of the president towards the fight? Immediately you begin to appreciate that you are good to go. President John Dramani Mahama has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that I have no personal interest in any mining whatsoever. So the first thing he did was to cause that portion of the LI 2462 to be expunged first. And not only that, he has now caused the entire LI to be revoked. That for me is victory for our environment. It is victory for our forest reserve. Curiously, President Mahama, you know, has always co-chaired the SDGs. One of the critical issues under the SDG has to do with the respect and protection for the environment. In fact, the directive principles of state policy makes it abundantly clear an obligation on government to protect the environment. And so this repeal, it is not only victory for the environment, it is also about a president that listens. A president who is willing to put the interests of the state above that of his personal interests. A president who is willing to demonstrate that level of self-restraint. That for me is significant. That is what we've been lacking over the period. And today being the 21st day of December.
22nd.
Sorry, 22nd. I think the unique part is that I look back a year ago, 2 years ago, and I look at what is happening today, and the difference is like night and day. The manner in which President Mahama has demonstrated this level of restraint is something that environmental activists, among others, must singularly applaud him for this. You need courage. You need conviction. You need boldness as a president to take some of this initiative. Why not? As a president, he will be a happy person to say, I have the power to grant people the opportunity to go and mine in forest reserve. That's a nice one. Your friends and cronies may reach out to you, but he says, no, I don't need it. My minister for lands and natural resource, the constitution and the Minerals and Mining Act provide the procedure to deal with this issue. Let it go through that. Why should I, as a president, go to that level? That level of restraint, I think, is extremely significant.
The LI in itself, during the period of its implementation, of what insignificance or significance or effect did it cause either the fight against illegal mining?
Remember that the evidence suggests that immediately upon the passage of that LI, over 1,000 leases were issued. And that is what made the galamsey free for all. First of all, have the benefit of reading Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, which report was sent to the presidency in 2019. However, curiously, it is only when Professor Frimpong Boateng went to GBC, he had an interview with GBC, whereupon he labeled the presidency then as galamsey headquarters. That infuriated government, the president, and immediately called the CID to investigate him. You remember that at the point the CID, his bail issue even became a topical issue at a point. I am saying that that particular LI 2462 opened the floodgates. It then gave the opportunity for our forest reserves to be invaded like the Vikings, a marauding group of people, buccaneers, just to take everything under the earth. That is significantly different from what we are seeing. And let me say, under Minister Boa, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, with the help and support of NIMOS, with the support of my big sister, Dr. Kluche of EPA, as we speak,
Professor.
Professor N, GTEC sanctioned.
Yes.
What is significant is that at least we have recovered huge number of forest reserves that we lost to these environmental terrorists. That for me is significant in this conversation. Okay. Beyond government's own effort in fighting galamsey, over 150 million Ghana cedis voted in the 2026 budget for NIMOS operation, among others. That for me is the way to go. And for a president to demonstrate this level of commitment is unmatched. Is there more room for improvement? Yes, of course. Okay. There is.
And that's where I pose a question to you, Dr. Kweku Boy. Would you say the LI in itself is a panacea or is very frontal in government fight against illegal mining?
Thank you very much. Let me say a good morning to my people, my constituency in Amasaman, and to my co-panelists.
Your constituency is Amasaman?
Amasaman constituency. And then to a good benefactor, upon Yaboa, Yapon Ventures. It's been great to me. And then Daniel Agyapong, who hosted me in Jabin over the weekend.
You were in Jabin over the weekend?
Yes. So it's been good. And God bless them for all that they've been doing. Let me come back to the LI 2462. It's one of the few LIs that I think brought a lot of uproar in the whole system.
You admit that?
Yes. For me, somebody who looks at Ghana in its entirety and then how we would help solve some of these pertinent issues that galamsey brought about. I think, one, it exposed, this LI when it was brought in, exposed almost about 89% of our forest reserve to mining, and then about 50 out of the 288 forest reserves were used, or people went into them
invaded,
and then they were mining in them, which to some of us, anything that would destroy the ecosystem, biodiversity, and then all that is something I, for instance, will not.
Because I knew you as an environmentalist.
Yes, I will not condone on some of these practices, because if you look at the problems that galamsey in itself is causing to Ghana, heavy metals in our waters, our river bodies, destruction of our, like I said, the ecosystem and all that, it doesn't augur well for us at all. So for me, this repeal means a lot. It's victory for the environment. I think it's one of the best things I've heard of in recent days, actually, if you ask me.
Really?
Okay, yes, because this is a thing that came to contradict Ghana's forest master plan, the development master plan from 2016 to, which was set for 2016 to 2036. And then it brought a lot of unnecessary shenanigans into all these mining and all that. Yes, council make it sound as if scrapping this will be an end to galamsey.
No, I said there's more room for improvement.
Exactly. That's where I'm coming to. I think, yes, it is a step in the right direction. It is going to give us that leverage where people will stop mining in all these 50 plus mining forest reserves, okay? They will stop mining there, and it will be good for Ghana. Now, let us tackle the galamsey head on. I understand that government through 9 months is moving in, trying to do the best that they can to safeguard our environments and all that. But I pray that the fight will not be just rhetorics, that we will just say it as it is. If you may, people are saying it, but it is not what is happening.
Of the interventions that have been made, i.e., being the national strategy, making sure there's the repeal of the LI 2462, and subsequently the deployment of the task force in itself, and then empowering the various MMDCEs, who are the heads of the security committee, so to speak, committees of the various MMDAs. Or the various security council, so to speak.
The DISEG or whatever, MUSEC.
What do you think of that strategy, where we have various facets of that being implemented or deployed at the same time to clamp down, compared to where we are or were a year ago?
Let me say, like I said earlier on, it is a step in the right direction. All the strategies that have been deployed and all that are good. But what I always want to say or talk about is that some of these MCs, in recent times you heard of what happened in Kentinke's backyard in Hwidiam, where 9 months arrested people, and then somebody went there and said, I'm the MP, and then have been sent by this person to let the people go and all that. This is something that is a presidency.
The avoidance of doubt, the NDC MP did not intervene to say that people should go. I mean, he couldn't have taken a mosaic, view and create the impression that he came there as Moses to say, let my people go. It wasn't the case. I mean, please,
that was what we had. Okay, I'm rather helping you.
No,
see, listen.
Help
listen.
That kind of Adwoa Safo help.
You see, government or presidency will come up with policies, would want it implemented, would want to see that whatever that they have come up with, the modus operandi must be followed to the latter. But then along the line, if you are not careful, there will be people who can truncate whatever that you want to do. And so if they have set up all these things, I pray that government will have a team that will supervise and will ensure that some of these things that they have brought will be followed to the latter and make sure that it is implemented.
Okay, so my question to you, I'll rephrase. I'm saying that these strategies, whether it's as part of the holistic one deployed, how would you say has brought the issue to a very malleable level, or maybe brittle level, so to speak? Reduced level. Okay. Compared to what we saw by the beginning of the year?
It's been good. Let me just admittedly, it's been good. Because I think when I was in Konongo yesterday,
campaigning?
Yes.
You went to campaign Konongo?
Yes. I spoke to 1 or 2 people, and then they said that things have come down a little bit.
The roadside mining has stopped.
Yes. And then all that. So at least compared to the beginning of the year, it's been good. And that is why I'm urging government to continue in the pursuit or the fight to clamp down on galamsey. It can be done. It is not something that we can't achieve as a country. We can do that. Okay. So they should continue on this tangent, and then let us not play politics with it.
Okay.
Yeah. That is one thing that I want to sound a few cautionary through my.
But I thought galamsey was frame a political issue. Okay. That's my thinking.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You're doing good. Yeah. What do you say Ken is now? Ken, what's away?
This morning is in the Asante Bediatuo blog.
So let the whole Ghana know that, contrary to, let the whole Ghana know. You see, we need to straight forward.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to the US.
So that we can frame it.
You see, let the whole Ghana know that, contrary to what we've been told,
so we can frame him well.
Contrary to what we've been told, the NPP, the NPP is on this.
Lawyer Apia Dankwa of United Party.
Yes, NPP is on this.
What's your assessment so far? We have the LI repeal. 9 months is working.
The fact that
but then we still have a number of areas that are inundated.
Yeah, so let me wish Honorable viewers a good morning. Let me wish my brother Duji good morning, my NPP brother Dog a good morning, and Dr. Tutuwahe, I also NPP.
What about
this is not propaganda. Good morning. You see, I think you know they see the whole issue about galamsey vexed me. The whole issue about galamsey, for me, tells me about how our politics, democracy since '92, largely has not been done in the interest of the people, but has been pushed in the interest of the parochial interest, largely of the politicians. You can never do justice to this LI issue without giving a historical perspective to this. And having said that, let me, even though they delayed, because I felt that one of the first issues that ought to have been done was a repeal of this LI. But having said that, it's better late than never. And when you do a comparative analysis, at least you see one president who, upon minimal pressure, listens, and that president who, upon massive because the kind of pressure we give President Bawumia is about 10% of the pressure we gave Nanado. We gave Nanado massive pressure. And this LI was still there. You understand? Also, let us understand that before the LI came, galamsey was a major issue. The LI came in 2022. Prior to 2022, galamsey was so big an issue that Nanado in 2017 actually put his presidency on the line.
It was a sham.
Yes. He actually so it's not as if it was the LI that brought galamsey. Galamsey was already a massive problem that we're facing. Now, also we need to understand that even prior to the president arrogating powers to himself to allow mining in forest reserves, increasing the existential threat that all of us were faced with as a result of his decision to sleep on his job.
Sleep on his job?
He slept on his job. You see, in 2019, per the Professor Frimpong's report, he said the president asked his minister, do not allow mining in forest reserves. That's what Professor Frimpong's report told us. In spite of that, galamseyers entered into our forest reserves, raped our forest reserves.
It was a jamboree.
Did not care the impact of that rape on us. And the president did nothing. NOTHING, nothing. Then some few years after this LI was passed, so was it the case that when the president was instructing his minister, ban or do not allow mining in forest reserves, and the fact that the minister haven't disobeyed the clear words, clear instructions of the president, was it the case that really the president's intention at that time was to allow mining in forest reserve, but like he always does, let me do something to represent something. Let me give an impression that I'm committed to the job that was given. He did nothing to the minister, because you see, Article 257 of our Constitution creates in our president a trust, because the natural resources, all natural resources in the natural states, all minerals, are for us, the people of Ghana. And the president is just a trustee.
That's what the Constitution says.
But that's what it is. That because the Constitution we are living by the Constitution. And we know that one of the fundamental duties or characteristics of any trust is to create in a trustee a fiduciary. What does that mean? It means that when you are taking any decision concerning the trust property, then your first consideration ought to be to ask yourself this question: the decision I'm taking, is it in the best interest of the beneficiaries? And we are that as much as the Mining Act talks about the minister really is like the agent of the president. So if you the trustee, well, the minister is not a trustee, it's the president, you are the trustee. The minister is flouting your clear orders, putting you in a position of breach of the terms of your trust. Then there's an obligation on you to sack the minister, and we ask for his what's it called, for him to be investigated and probably prosecuted. The president slept. And then just 2 or 3 years after, you come with this sham of an LI that essentially gave the president power then to even allow mining in the forest reserves. My biggest disappointment as a Ghanaian is that we failed as a people to impeach the president, to send a signal loud and clear that when we give our powers to you and you use those powers to pursue an agenda which is contrary to the interest of the people, then we will sack you as president. Because when you read the Levanthian, when you read the social contract, the basis for why we have governments of this nature, one principle is clear, that where in that social contract, you refuse to do the purpose, or you depart from the purpose for which we gave you, or which an appeals a social contract, then you lose the legitimacy to continue to govern. So when we did that, when the what's called organized labor did their
threatened boycott.
It was so disappointing because one, even what they were asking for, because you see, when you demonstrate, you ask for something. What they should have asked for was, President, step down. And I have to step down. And I'm saying all this because strangely,
he's gone now. So
no, but strangely, I want to make this point because
at that time he was a member of the NPP.
No, you see, they talk at that point. See, that's one of the lamest reasons.
A member of the NPP.
Whether I'm member of NPP, I'm not member of NPP. I'm on record, and you are my host. The videos are there.
You're saying
3 months. 3 months. I'm telling you, Roland is here. 3 months. I was calling for the impeachment of the president. So don't come and say at that point, I'm member of the NPP. What? Your party that has departed. I was listening to people talk about, oh, we need to save the NPP. We need to save the NPP. When you depart, let me talk, don't come and distract me. When you depart,
you have 3 minutes. When
you depart from your core mandate as a political party, when you deviate from your principles as a political party, then you lose any essence. You lose the right to even exist in the first place.
This is not the Odo side.
Because we do politics for a reason. The spirit there, without being familiar, has become very parochial also. So then, because when you read the constitution, please keep quiet. Our people are watching us. We need to debate in a very civil manner. Ghanaians are watching.
Principalities are.
Yeah, understand. I'm coming. Let's listen. We need to debate in a very civil manner. Please let me land on this one point. When you read the
what do you say about Nanado, etc.? He's gone now.
No, but principalities have taken over.
Listen. So now on Saturday, last week, you had members of the NPP suddenly chastising the government on the LI. Then ask yourself, and that's why this background is very important. Then ask yourself, where is principle? Where is value?
Which members of the NPP did this? Chastising.
In fact, I don't even know the MP for is it Wali or something? The guy who said he was going to take us to court.
Dr. Kabiru.
My brother Kabiru.
Kabiru was on saying that just finishing people for repealing and they've delayed. So Kabiru, so when your president even had the cockroach audacity to pass this LI in the first place, where were you? Indeed, you were in parliament, you see. And when you went, I was on City FM with another NPP guy, Dr. Is it Sheikh or Shak, the Mampusi's Nai's lawyer? And he was running down the government. And then I asked him, where is your principle? So when that LI was late, I came to this station with him, and he was defending the LI.
That is not the position.
The point is that an NPP as a political party.
The NPP is gone.
I'm coming. You sponsor, but they want to give opposition, and we ought to measure the opposition with their position in the past. The point is this: when in your constitution, as a political party, you state that one of the objectives is to protect the environmental integrity of this country, and then the president you sponsored is delivering a governance that is adverse to that position, is delivering a governance that is killing our environment, is delivering a governance that has caused an ecocide. What did they say? Indeed, the reason why, please let me land, let me do this. Let me land. You see, the reason why the president fundamentally failed was because most of the people who were raping our environment, most of the people who were creating a situation where all of our lives were peril, those are people who were poisoning our river bodies with mercury, with lead, with zinc. When largely the NPP people, you understand, what did they say? So what moral authority do they? Listen, Ghanaians, let's understand this. Unfortunately, we have a situation where the opposition, the biggest opposition party, lacks the fundamental moral authority to give any credible opposition. Indeed, even if they attempt any opposition, their focus is not because they love us as Ghanaians. It's just to please let me land. It's to make government so popular. Let me land. Please let me land on this, please. Let me land so that the government becomes so unpopular. And then, listen, we at this stage we need to oppose ourselves. When you're in your house and government is not doing anything, text, put on Facebook. But you see, the good news is that the UP is here. We have the credibility, and we are going to give credible opposition. We are going to lead the charge. So we do a politics whose focus is to build a strong state, a politics whose focus is to take care of the citizens. So I'll commend what's called his president and the NDC for repealing the LI. They were late. The government for repealing the LI. They were late, but it's better late than never. And this time we are all here. We won't allow for irresponsible opposition. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.